7 days.
Hey everyone, welcome to Straitjacket Talk, where it's two guys, a girl, and a horror show. My name is Kevin, and I'm joined by a guy who would 100% watch the cursed tape out of curiosity. It's Nathan.
Oh, 100%. No hesitation whatsoever. And honestly, the cursed tape is like right out my alley when it comes to viewing. I could have watched that thing for half an hour. So,
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Very artful.
Full on.
Yeah. Well, I'm a sucker for that student film aesthetic.
Slap an A24 on it.
Good to
Market
go.
that shit, right?
Yeah.
I'm also joined by a girl who appreciates a spooky girl with a tragic backstory. It's Gill.
Oh man, yeah, they're my favorite. Nailed it, actually.
And we have a special guest from the well. It's Dan from the Mouths of Madness podcast. Dan, thank you for joining us.
Happy to be here, folks. Really excited to be covering The Ring today with you guys.
It's been a while since I've seen this one, so we're diving in.
You know, I was thinking, I don't think in our conversations we've ever discussed this movie. So I thought maybe you had never seen it before.
Dan and me have been longer friends than me and Nathan, and
What?
I don't know if we've ever discussed this movie. So
Halloween and Friday the 13th all day.
Dan, we're checking this one off the list because we watched The Ring from 2002. It was directed by Gore Verbinski. Is that it? Verbinski? Yeah,
Yep.
Verbinski.
Verbinski.
All right. It was written by Aaron Kruger. This is based on the film Ring by Hiroshi Takahashi.
Perfect.
Nice.
I've been practicing.
Yeah.
Rosetta Stone, right?
Yeah.
No, I actually took a trip to Japan. I worked it out. The Ring had a budget of $48 million. Do you know how much it made at the box office? We'll start with Dan.
I am gonna guess that this thing did pretty well and say 160 million.
I'm going to go ahead and say 161 million.
Oh,
Oh.
Damn.
The
I'm gonna
curse of
ruin
going
it.
first. You can't price is right.
You're constantly Price is Righting everybody else. So I figured,
you know what?
taste your own medicine.
That's what that feels like. Okay.
Yeah.
169. Heh.
Oh. Like where your head's at. And you're also the closest.
All right.
The Ring grossed $249.3 million.
We're off. Yeah.
Little off.
Almost 500.
See, I knew it did really well, but I couldn't resist the Price's writing. So, you know.
Oh, it's crazy how much money this did. I also heard that it did really, really well in DVD sales at the time. It was one of the highest grossing ever movies through DVDs for a while there. So the Letterboxd rating is at a 3.3 out of 5 and currently sits at a 72% on the thermometer. But what did we think of this movie? Before we go any further, if you could please hit the like and subscribe buttons. Also hit the notification bell because when we have a new video, you'll be the first to know. Isn't that right, Nathan?
Yes, it's a privilege.
And if you would like to show support for our show, you can become a member by clicking on the join button, where you'll have exclusive access to some bonus content and stuff like your name in the end credits. Go now and sign up to be a member. We really appreciate it. Let's dive into the well here and give you our overall thoughts on The Ring. Dan, you're the guest. Start us off. This is not your first time seeing it, right?
No, but it's been a good while since I've sat down and watched it. I picked this for pure nostalgia's sake. I remember seeing this in theaters. I remember seeing the trailers for it. Me and my friends, we were the douchebags that laughed at everything in that movie at the time. Didn't take it seriously at all. You know, the horse jumping off the boat, that was funny. You know, Brian Cox electrocuting himself, laughs. Awful jeers from the audience. Getting the opportunity to watch it as an adult and truly appreciate it for what it is. It's a great classic ghost story. And I figured, like, this would be a great Straitjacket Talk episode. I figured Nathan, with his expertise in foreign film and maybe getting a taste of the American version of like a Japanese horror movie, like was so curious to see like what his thoughts would be if he happened to see the Japanese one and comparing it to the American one.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. We still got the American one to cover. And then Gill, I figured, might maybe appeal to her goth girl sensibilities. And then like Kevin, like I said, we never really talked about this movie. So I was like, oh man, this would be a good watch for Kevin if you've never seen it. But what I really like about this movie is just the cinematography. They really just get rid of all the warm colors out of this entire film. Like it's all atmospheric and
Matrix green.
Yeah. Matrix green brought into the horror world. It feels like for the rest of the 2000s, like it never left.
Every Saw movie,
yeah. But just like rainy Seattle too. Like just everything is just, the location is just rainy, dreary weather. It's cold and somber. Like I like the feel of it. I respect that it's like a PG-13 movie and it doesn't do like a lot of gore or slasher tropes or your typical horror movie tropes. This is like a campfire ghost story. What I also was like researching is it's based on a novel that was written in 1991 by Koji Suzuki, and he's often referred to as the Japanese Stephen King. So I thought that was a little interesting nugget of knowledge that I did in my research. I like the relationship dynamics in this movie between Rachel, Aiden, and Noah. I think it adds a little layer of like this devoid of love that is like this absence of like just warmth in general.
Should we read something? I'm kind of tired.
It's like this is just like a family of avoidant attachment people. Yeah, like Aiden is just overly independent and at times takes care of his own mother. He demonstrates it in scenes where he's like already picked out mom's clothes for the funeral. He puts his own babysitter. He puts himself to sleep and reads his babysitter a bedtime story. He packs his own lunch. And mad respect for this kid for knowing how to tie a tie. I didn't learn how to tie a tie until I was like 25. So, yeah, I think is interesting. He refers to his mom as Rachel, and to me that says he was taught that, and that Rachel maybe feels inadequate as a mom, or maybe wasn't ready to be a mother, possibly. Never wanted to be one. She is really dedicated to her career as a journalist. And she even like makes a story out of her niece's own death. I just think it's like a fascinating dynamic there with and how like she kind of changes throughout the story of trying to figure out the origins of this cursed tape. And it kind of moves her at the end of everything to kind of just be a better mother. Aside from all the psychology babble, the Samara character herself is pretty cool. I like the just malevolent ghost who has no rhyme or reason for why she does the things she does. She just wants people to suffer.
You don't want to hurt anyone.
But I do.
And it's almost like Michael Myers-esque in a way. She's like this force of nature that cannot be reasoned with, can't be bargained with, can't help it. She's still going to punish you one way or another. I really marked out when I saw Logan Roy in the movie, also, AKA Brian Cox. I completely forgot that he was like the dad in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's just such an amazing actor. He really nailed that part.
He's really good.
I like the investigative journalism aspect of it all. It's interesting in how I wonder, is Rachel actually leading this investigation, or is Samara just drawing her into that final encounter?
Yeah.
It's all about the slow burn. It's all about the tension. An atmosphere, and I like that it's more eerie than it is like trying to like jump scare you.
You brought up some great points there, especially like with the family dynamic. I had forgotten that family dynamic. I haven't seen this in quite some time, so that was like a major piece of this movie that I had forgotten completely. So yeah, that's definitely very interesting. We got to talk about that more throughout. I want to get Gill your thoughts on The Ring. Have you seen this before? Have you seen the Japanese version?
Let me just start off by saying this is my first rewatch since I saw this as a kid. I think I was 11 when this came out. I don't really remember my watching experience. I think it was probably at my friend's house or at a sleepover. We probably like rented it from the gas station and watched it. But it's one of my first like formative horror movies because I started watching them basically in the early 2000s, and that's like my thing. That's my whole shtick. I love early 2000s horror, and this one is like deeply cemented into like 2000s horror culture. So much that like when I think of this, I think it's Scary Movie 3 when they parody it.
Yes.
Yes.
I think of that a lot. So it's like deeply embedded in our culture. I remember being terrified of this as a kid. I also did watch the original Ringu, the Japanese version. I forget the year that The Grudge came out, but I love The Grudge, but it's like it messed me up. Like to this day, that movie haunts me. And I also saw the Japanese version, Ju-on. So those are like my two first entries into J-horror. Obviously, the original Japanese movie is better, but I think this is a great adaptation of that. Just like the fact that the whole concept of it has stuck around for so long, like in our memory. And just like when I brought it up to my friends that I was watching this, they're like, oh my God, that movie scared the crap out of me. When I saw it, like I couldn't sleep. I was scared of the TV. Like those are the things I think about when I think about The Ring. 7 days. Like that whole phrase was a big thing when it came out. So yeah, I thought it was terrifying when I was a kid watching it. I don't know if that's because like I was young or I didn't have much experience with horror. I am interested in how you guys think it holds up to this day as being a scary movie, because I've seen kind of mixed reviews that some people still think it's really scary and some people think it's not scary at all. I still think it's decently scary. There's not a lot of gore, like you said, but it's the like makeup on the people who are dead. It's kind of shocking because they just died and they look so decayed and deformed like immediately upon dying. So it's a shocking image. One last thing I want to say is that the image of Samara like crawling out of the well and then crawling out of the TV is like just burned into my brain. It's just kind of iconic.
That's, I think, the biggest question for this movie, right? When you make titles for like your episodes on YouTube, and one of the biggest things they always like put as like what would get views or like be interesting so people would click, it's always like, does this movie still hold up to this day? And I think that this movie is probably the best example of that question, right? Like, do you think that this movie still holds up? Because there's a lot of low gore in early 2000 horror, right? A lot of it's very stylized. A lot of it uses effects that were very primitive at the time and like CGI and things like that. So some of that doesn't always necessarily hold up well. I'll answer for me. Some of this really works still. And I think the concept overall is very scary. Some of the nuanced things they play with in this movie, I think really still hold up, with like seeing visions in like TV screens and kind of playing with, is there somebody around the corner? You know, those kind of things work really well for tension and things like that. I think Dan said it best. Like, this is a slow burn. So I don't think everything's going to work for everybody, but I would go like halfway. I think some of this still holds up and I think some of it doesn't a little bit. The things that don't, I think, are like some of the CGI effects, obviously with Samara specifically, but some of the kill stuff isn't bad.
I think it mostly holds up. It's not a film that requires a huge amount of special effects because it's mostly investigation. You're right, about Samara's face. That that was goofy. I would have preferred her hair to stay over her face the entire time.
Yeah.
I don't need a goofy monster face. But pretty much everything else I think works really well. That's the only spot where I was like, ooh. What are we doing? The story, it feels like a classic campfire tale, like Dan said.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how does that, it doesn't age really to me. You know, it's a movie with a haunted object and the ghost who's angry. That's been horror for centuries. So if it hasn't aged in centuries, it's not going to age in, 20 years, 25 years.
Dan, do you think that this could be still scary to a modern audience?
I mean, I think so. Like, especially, what's a VCR? Very frightening learning, not knowing how to operate one of those things.
Let me tell you, somebody who's Gen Z and watched this movie, had I not seen it, would know more about how VHS works than I did before I watched this movie.
The makeup of the tracks is like a signature for whatever did the recording, like a camcorder, VCR, whatever. So the control track could tell us where it came from.
So,
jokes aside, no, I think so too. I agree, with everybody's assessment so far. I think it's the storytelling is what's important at the end of the day. It's how you are able to tell a compelling story, and I think this movie really does a good job in its storytelling. It leads you along. It keeps you invested. Some of the visualizations in the tapes, and just some of the premonition shots that are done, with her walking over the giant ladder. One of the scenes that always sticks out in my head too is when she plucks the fly off the monitor.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that there's just some cool stylizations. There's just a lot of good memorable moments on top of how the story is told, that I think it has some pretty good staying power in general.
Since it's been a while since I've seen this, there's kind of a fake out ending where you think there's going to be a happy ending.
Is she still in the dark place?
No. We set her free.
And I forgot all about that. So I was along for the ride. I was like, oh, maybe I gaslit myself into thinking that she doesn't crawl out of the well.
Right.
I remember her being.
That's a Mandela effect thing, I guess. Huh?
I was like, that must be from the Japanese version or something. I didn't know what was going on.
Movie 3.
Or
yeah.
Scary Movie.
3.
That's what I was thinking.
Rachel especially tries to humanize Samara, and the audience kind of goes along with it because you believe that too, unless you've seen it before or if you remember it and you know that she's malevolent. But yeah, I was all with that. I was like, okay, there's a happy ending. I don't quite remember this, but whatever. And then it kept going and I was like, oh shit, yeah, I forgot that this is, it goes there, I think that scene especially is very scary. I think the concept is scary. It's funny that you guys call this a ghost story and a campfire story. It is. I just never thought of it that way before. But yeah, it totally is a ghost story. I don't know why it never clicked in my head before. But yeah, I think parts of it are still scary. Parts of it probably wouldn't hold up. I feel like if A24 took this movie, they could make something kind of similar. And, it's just a great concept. Mm-hmm. And just the way that it was done in 2002, it does very much still hold up. I was intrigued the whole time. I didn't get bored or anything like that. And this movie is kind of long too. It's an hour and 55. Yeah. And they use that length to explore the clues and the mystery of everything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think it still holds up mostly. It could be scarier, but I don't know if it's really going for that. It's because it's that ghost story. You know what I mean? It's not like a slasher.
I was thinking about this earlier. It's such a flexible story. You can make it more violent or more like a gorier film, or you could keep it simple. You can be more expansive with the idea, the concept, or you could keep it the same and if they were ever to remake it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Nathan, have you seen The Ring before? We've never talked about The Ring, have we?
Sorry.
Yes, we did. We talked about The Ring a bunch when it came out. We were going to high school together at the time.
Did we see it together?
Yeah. The first
think
time
we
I
did.
saw this, I think, was in your basement.
we did.
I remember when this first came out, there was a lot of hype for it. Like, this was an extremely successful movie, and I was told it's the scariest movie you'll ever see. This movie, for me, was sort of a victim of its own hype and maybe my teenage arrogance at the time, because at the end, I was like, that's it? Seeing it now as an adult, being a little bit more mature and also being separate from that level of hype, I enjoy this movie quite a bit. I do think it is a little too long, to be honest with you. I think it's got some pacing issues. Like we've been talking about, it's a great little campfire ghost story, very classic haunted object. I'm in love with Naomi Watts. Yeah. It's hard not to be in love with Naomi Watts. The actor who played Aiden, I didn't think was very good, but
He was a creepy kid, though.
Punch that baby.
He was a creepy kid, but I don't know. He just was. He was flat to me.
Didn't he remind you of the dude from Road Trip?
I haven't seen Road Trip since high school.
What
Kevin.
is his name?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Breckenmeyer.
Breckenmeyer? I don't remember anything from Road Trip at all, except that Tom Green is in it, I think, right?
He is, yeah.
He is. That's all I remember from Road
The
Trip.
French toast scene. Kevin knows what I'm talking about.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you, but I was thinking the whole time when I saw him on screen, I'm like, is that Breckenmeyer?
Rachel's great. I think she's a badass character, gets what she wants. Noah, I honestly, the family dynamic that you guys have been talking about liking so much, I'm not that interested in. Like, I didn't really care about Noah stepping up to be Aiden's father. It might have been because I didn't like Aiden at all.
You want him to be fatherless?
Yeah, he
Fucked
sucks. You deserve
I
it.
mixed. Wait a minute. I realized I mixed up characters. Aiden is the kid.
Aiden
Yeah.
is the kid. Yeah.
Yeah, I meant Noah.
Yeah.
Noah
Oh,
looks
Noah
looks like
Breckenmeyer.
Breckenmeyer. Yeah.
Okay.
That makes way more sense, I think.
This little kid in Road Trip.
Yeah, what? I was confused.
Where did I miss this?
Oh man.
It was a really interesting twist to me, as well as being a little bit hilarious, that they spent so much time setting up this Samara Morgan as being this victim who was now vengeful because of how terribly she was treated and abused by her parents. And then at the end, they twist her around and say, no, she's just an evil bitch.
You understand, Rachel? She never sleeps.
And her mother was right to throw her down the well. I think that's great. It's been a long time since I've seen this movie, so I kind of forgot about how that sort of twisted that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great. I don't know. It's a fun movie. It's interesting. It is a slow burn, but I think a lot of the imagery especially keeps you interested, even though, like I said, I do think it has some pacing problems. It could have been cut by 15 to 20 minutes, in my opinion.
You know what they could have cut? That horrific horse scene, because we didn't need.
Absolutely not. You leave
We
that.
didn't need to kill the
you need
horse.
the horse
I don't
scene.
know. I hate it. It makes me so sad.
It makes me laugh every time
no.
I see it. The horse didn't even clear the boat.
Two
I
kind
blame
of
the
people.
jockey for that shit.
I have a horse phobia, so it's actually kind of
Actually.
it's good for me.
Therapeutic.
Yeah, it's a little therapeutic,
I can't.
cathartic
Oh my
for
goodness.
You people.
Sorry, I don't like horses. They're just too big. And they constantly look at you like they're gonna kill you.
Holy cow, man.
What the hell, man?
And a horse pushed me off of some stairs when I was a kid at one point.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Never mind. You get a pass.
I was walking up some barn stairs and the horse was just like, and I fell, and I
So
was
you-
fine, but like I wasn't walking up those stairs again.
Jeez.
So you're kind of on Samara's side on here, killing all them horses.
Yeah, but Samara's a kid, and you know how I feel about kids.
Must go punch that baby. That's how the horse felt about child Nathan.
Yeah.
Let's go kick that kid.
You know.
Just
Oh, man.
go jump off this boat now.
Fuck this kid. I gotta kill myself.
It's a murder-suicide.
That's what Logan Roy did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a very similar experience to Nathan with this because I don't think I've seen it since we watched it in my basement all those years ago. I didn't remember a lot of this movie, which is good. I was like back in and suckered in for the ride, which is cool. Like Gill said too, like I was kind of like, wait a minute, it's over here? I was like, I know there's a well scene. Okay, there's going to be like a false finish here of an ending. This makes it really worth it because I think if you had just gone with the happy ending, it would have been like really flat. So I think the twist really worked for me of, like Nathan said, this is just a malevolent girl.
Her mom and her dad were just right to treat her like that.
Yeah, they were right. Yeah. It's kind of cool because it's such a trope, I think, in horror, too, where there is that, like, trying to tell this backstory of someone who's been wronged or abused or whatever. And I mean, it's a cool story, don't get me wrong, but it's done so much in horror that this takes advantage of the audience there. And I think that's an awesome thing because as the audience, we're feeling that for Samara. We're hoping and we're rooting Rachel on throughout this to prove that this little girl, something horrible happened to her or whatever that she's out to prove. And we're all on board. And then in the end, it's like, no, like you shouldn't have done this. Really. I don't know.
Spider caught themselves a fly.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
It honestly, I was thinking this when I was watching it. I was like, this really reminds me of other movies with a similar concept. Like Silent Hill, you have this kid who's like been through trauma and they become this like evil entity and like haunt people or whatever. There's another one. I guess The Grudge is kind of similar too.
Grudge,
like,
yeah.
But I was like,
I haven't seen The Grudge.
very similar. Oh my God, we have to do it. It's so scary. Like it still haunts me to this day. And it's terrifying.
It's one of my blind spots there, actually. It's like, I should have seen The Grudge years ago, and I just...
You've seen, like, the most obscure J-horror, but you haven't seen, like, the most popular titles.
I know. I know.
Nathan's a true one.
I like Tetsuo, man. You know, it's great, man.
Some of this, too, is iconic, and it was iconic when we were kids growing up. Everybody knew about the 7 days. Everyone knew about the girl coming out of the well through the TV. Those are things that, to me, stand the test of time still in horror because they're unforgettable moments. And I think you're both right, or you're all right about it being a ghost story. Gill, you were saying it, you never thought of it that way, and I really hadn't either. And I think that's because they do it in such a different way that it is cool and original, I think, for its time. There is some things that didn't work for me. Like Nathan said, this is a little too long. I think there is just a little pacing issues for me. I also think that some of the actual horror elements are kind of lower on this as well. Whereas it actually at times feels more like a mystery. And I'm cool with that. Like, I'm into that. But they maybe could have turned up the horror a little bit. And I know the PG-13 thing also.
Yeah.
They had to kind of walk that line. On the Mouths of Madness podcast, we just did Happy Death Day. And I had a very similar take where it's like if the gore and the horror was up, I mean, this would be top notch for me. And I think that's just where this movie falls a little bit short. But overall, I had a great time with it. It's cool kind of remembering things little by little throughout the way and getting involved in the story. I want to start right at the opening because one of the great things I thought of this was the opening scene. And it gives you that classic ghost story without too much exposition. They kind of just talk about, oh, did you hear about the tape that kills you?
Yeah.
And as soon as it's over, your phone rings, and what they say is, you will die in 7 days.
And then the girl's like, yeah, like, wait a minute, that's true.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute, You've watched it? I like how they cut out a lot of exposition with it and just kind of dive into it.
Yeah, this opening scene it's great. It's scary as hell, if you ask me. The way Katie tries to play it off like it was a joke that she watched this tape.
I've watched it. You freak!
But then things go fucky. And there's a very sort of surrealistic feeling to all of this, like where they're just making you feel dread by things not necessarily making sense. The phone suddenly becomes an object of dread, and it's just her mom. But like you're actually afraid when the phone rings. Every time a phone rings in this movie, it startles you, really.
Yeah.
Which is great. When she walks into her room and there's just water all over the place and it cuts. It's one of those spots where you don't want to see the kill. Not seeing it is scarier than actually seeing it. It's a great opening. It's very classic.
Jill, I want to ask you too, because you said you watched this at a sleepover, right? As your first watch. This must have been perfect, right? Like perfect opening scene in a sleepover.
Yeah, there's no sleep. But yeah, it has that like urban legend kind of feel. And I think that's very appropriate for a movie that's kind of like at this time, those like email chain letters were a big thing. And this is kind of like that, right? Like I never realized this before either. All these years, I just forgot what the name I just didn't know what the name meant for the ring. Like I thought, maybe there's a ring or something, but there's no ring in it. But then I realized two things. First thing, obviously, like the imagery of the well with like kind of that eclipse of light, like, and you see that in the drawings and stuff. I was a kid, so like that never like really clicked to me. But the other thing is like it could also be like kind of like a ring, like, you know, it just keeps going like full circle. Or you pass it on to like your circle of friends or whatever. So I think that's really cool. But yeah, I think it's a killer opening. It reminds me of Scream a little bit in the way that you don't take it too seriously, right? You got the phone call, but then something horrific happens. You have that kill. So yeah, I think it's a great opening to kind of capture everyone's attention.
Dan, something you had talked about too, how it's shot in that like green kind of hue. Right away, you get that with this opening scene, do you not? And everything's dreary.
Yeah, for sure.
Dread.
Yeah, it adds to the tension for sure. And like Jill said, it took the word right out of my mouth. Like it reminded me, like it's like an urban legend, classic, like the call is coming from inside the house kind of vibe. What Nathan was saying is like they draw on the tension of like it starts out as this lighthearted conversation, and then you kind of notice like you're in the girl who saw the videotape's perspective, and she's watching the clock. There's like little hints that like something's off, that she certainly probably has seen this tape, and she's just kind of playing it off. And like they keep doing these fake outs, they keep fucking with each other. The TV comes on, and she goes to like mess with the TV, and then the refrigerator door opens, and it's just like it just gets weirder and weirder. And like you were saying, you tie it in with like the atmosphere and everything. It is such a cool opening.
I want to talk more about the videotape, because the videotape is a huge piece of this movie, because Samara really doesn't have much on screen time here, but the whole videotape concept, and a movie we had done a few episodes ago, Poltergeist, really shows you how scary that white noise sound is. And they bring it back in this. And what do you think makes the tape so scary in itself? Is it that it's a VHS and like there's tracking kind of issues and things are off on it, right? Like when you're watching the tape, you're always, even before they get to like trying to extend it out and look at it, everything, as the audience, we're trying to maybe locate different things, are we not? Like I feel like we're in on this mystery a little bit.
With the videotape, the thing that I notice about it is like you get a couple of little mundane things, and then they hit you with something really, really strong. Like one of the images that sticks out to me is like that top-down scene with like all the people swimming in the ocean. and you're like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? It looks like a bunch of people are like drowning or something's going on. And then it cuts like, it's like before that, it's a bunch of maggots.
Right.
And-
Oh yeah.
But then it's like a quick cut to a ladder. Then it's a picture of her like panning out. And then it's just her mom brushing her hair. And it's just the graininess, black and white, like kind of like what we were talking about before with like the desaturation of color. That videotape is where it's most desaturated too.
Yeah.
It's just more of the tricks that this movie deploys to try to get you the hair on your neck stand up a little bit.
Right. Like something's off in this.
Yeah. I made a joke at the beginning that I would watch like a half an hour long I'm not kidding, actually. I would totally watch
Give me more.
that type of stuff for a half an hour. I do think also there's an element of the images being disconnected from each other and some of it not making sense. It makes you uncomfortable. It actually reminds me of that Salvador Dali, Luis Buñuel film I talked about a long time ago. Yeah, Le Chain Angelou, I believe it's called, where it's just like this 15-minute long surreal film. It's similar in that things don't lead into one another and there's a horrific image followed by something funny. They're using that sort of vibe to make you feel uneasy because Le Chain Angelou makes you feel uneasy. Even when you laugh at it, you're uneasy. There's a feeling of being unmoored from reality while you're watching it. I love that. I would make it a 45-minute short film. I'll watch the whole thing. I'll enjoy the hell out of it.
Jill, what's your thoughts on the tape? Did you remember this tape from when you first saw it years ago?
No, I did not remember like anything. Honestly, I thought it was going to have the girl, Samara, in it, but it didn't. Not in the same capacity, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Unlabeled, kind of just like a random VHS tape or like physical media. That in general, I think just putting it on and not knowing really what to expect, I think that is scary in itself, especially preface with the fact that we know and they know it's a movie you watch and then you die, essentially like 7 days later. Not only that, but the sound, there's this high pitched kind of noise, which is unsettling. And then I was thinking the same thing as Dan and Nathan, especially with how disjointed all of the videos or the clips are, because it's not in any kind of like sensical order. It's not like a story. You don't really know what's going on at all. And you could get something really random and then a horrific clip. Like I think there's one where it's like kind of like an ashtray or something with fingers, like severed fingers in it.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. So yeah, I think that's just terrifying in itself. And then followed with the phone call afterwards. Yeah, hell no.
You have 7 days, right? That is creepy. I like how they kind of figure out like what the 7 days represents, right? It was her in the well.
How long can you survive?
You could survive for 7 days.
For
7 days.
7 days.
Yeah.
I love like a cursed object, and especially when it's this like movie or video or like clips together. I love that idea. There's a John Carpenter movie called Cigarette Burns that has a cursed movie as well, and I'm just a sucker for that, like because it's like taboo, right? Like it's something you shouldn't see and you want to see sort of idea. Even in this, they play with that a little bit too, where she's like, I shouldn't show you this, but
What? Yeah, I was actually so mad at Rachel when that happened because I was like, why? You know what's going to happen. Why are you showing it to other people?
I'm thinking maybe you shouldn't see it. No, I should know more about it first.
Well, isn't that why I'm here?
Obviously, it's like part of the plot because she needs to do that in order to save herself. But she's like constantly like putting other people in danger. I'm just like, what's wrong with you?
that's true.
She doesn't believe it's a ridiculous concept in reality.
I guess.
Right.
You know, she doesn't believe this tape is actually gonna. She's unsure, but at the end of the day, this tape shouldn't be able to kill anybody in reality. So that's where she's coming from. That's the same reason I would read the Book of the Dead from Evil Dead. You
I don't know if that's the same reason. You would do it because you're you. Just stir some shit up. Wake some evil spirits.
Yeah. Sounds like a good time.
I have kind of a fun question with this, right? Do you think if this came out today, they could do this concept with TikTok instead of VHS?
God.
A little bit.
Oh, man.
Kill myself.
So many people would drop dead, though. Like, the moment there was a TikTok that killed people, it would have like 4 million views immediately within a day.
And the next day they'd have like the video on how to like save yourself from it. So it'd be like this, it'd be like this peak, and then it would like drop off the next day, like in typical internet fashion.
It'd become a TikTok challenge. Watch the death video without dying challenge. And then half of Gen Z just drops dead.
I hate it.
Here I am trying to figure out TikTok. You know?
I feel like it doesn't work as well with like, I don't know. It's something about like our like primitive technology from the 90s, early 2000s. I think it works better. The idea of like updating that technology makes it seem kind of cheesy. I don't know if that's just me, but
less impersonable too. Like there's something more like intimate about just the accessibility of it. Whereas like if it's accessible to millions of people, it kind of it softens the allure of it, I think. I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah, when video was something you had to hold in your hand, you had to go out and buy or rent, or you had to record it yourself. It was less mundane, I feel like. It was more special, whereas now you can just go on the internet and watch lifetimes worth of YouTube. There's nothing special about it.
Funny enough about this movie being in modern times, it would probably benefit the runtime because, you know, half the investigation could just be done on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
That's
100%.
funny. I was thinking that in the library scene, like she starts off on the internet and then goes and actually looks at a real book. And I was like, nowadays, that real book would not be involved in this investigation at all. You'd just sit on the internet the entire time you're investigating.
I miss that about like those kinds of horror movies, like having to go investigate in a library with a book.
Yeah.
Or like talk to someone. I don't know.
Microfiche.
Yeah.
That seems like they should have played that more into this, though, a little bit, because she's on a bit of a time crunch. And if you got to be in the library looking through pictures of lighthouses and shit, like
what if she didn't get the right lighthouse?
Lose a day.
Yeah, right.
When you think about how many thousands of lighthouses must be in the United States, too, it's like, how do you get the book with the right lighthouse in it?
And you're just going off an image. That's all you have.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I live near a large amount of lighthouses, and they all kind of look the same.
I got to get into one of my classic questions. This is a Kevin question. What's your thoughts on Samara as a villain? Like, do you think she's scary? Do you think she's iconic a little bit? Because I know when we were kids, she definitely was iconic. And that scene of coming out of the well, she was scary. Do you think she holds up as a villain?
I think so, just because, you know, that mark that this movie has left on horror. I think especially near the end, because like I said, they humanize her for most of the movie as a victim. And so it's less scary. But that final scene, she doesn't look like a kid anymore. Like, she looks evil. Like, she looks like an adult kind of too. Like, I wonder if that's the same actress, honestly, in that scene, because it does not look like a child. But I need to look that up because I'm interested.
That's a good question.
But yeah, much more menacing, malicious. Like the fact that she's doing this for no reason other than being evil. Those are the best kinds of villains, right? Like you said, Michael Myers. So yeah, I think she holds up.
Yeah, I think so. Just for the sake of like the idea that she's like a piece of media, and like media is like so big in our current era of technology and everything. I just think the whole idea of a ghost coming out of a TV in itself is memorable. It's something that's gonna like visually is everlasting. She will stand the test of time. She'll be one of those memorable characters in the horror genre.
Nathan, the way she kills people is pretty iconic, is it not? With the
Well, I mean, do we ever actually see her kill anybody?
I think they die
Well-
of like fright or something, right?
Yeah,
Like a heart
Yeah,
attack.
like-
she shows up, and then like even Noah's death, they cut away before she actually does anything to him. So, and then obviously, you see the aftermath.
What
and
happened
it's
to his
quite a
nose?
I don't know. it's quite striking though.
Yeah.
Like the first time, that first jump scare in the movie, and this is a movie without a lot of jump scares, where it just cuts to Katie in the closet and her face is like, it got me. It like, I've seen this movie before. Didn't remember it though, but it got me because it's a striking image. It's
scary.
yeah, it's scary. I don't think you need more gore for that.
I was wondering what happened to the friend there. Like, I know she goes to the psychiatric ward later, right?
Yeah.
But like, where was she in those moments?
I mean, I think Katie sort of ended up in like her own sort of world where like Becca could have been right there watching things go down. That's the way I felt about it. Like Becca disappeared, but I think she was just in the house with Katie. That's what's kind of scared me about that first kill, about that opening scene.
I love Samara with the hair over. It's just, it looks creepy. And the way she kind of moves, comes out of the well with the arms. And even when she comes through the screen, I like the glitching effect. Dan, like you said, she's like a piece of media almost. And
Yeah.
and there's that ability. And like, to me, that's scary, man. Like this ghost can be in media, but can also be in real life. It's that like Freddy Krueger concept. He's in your dreams. He's in real.
Yeah.
What's real, what's not. And I think that's always scary because like when your imagination, especially as a kid, when you have an imagination, you're thinking of ghosts and what they can do, or there's no rules, right? So there shouldn't be rules in movies either with ghosts. You guys hit on the closet scene. I said at the beginning, I thought that this had a big mystery element to it and was like lighter on the horror stuff. But what's your thoughts on it? Were you involved in the mystery angle with Rachel? Do you think that is like a strong element to kind of get you through the movie? Or was it a little too much investigating and not enough horror? And what I mean by that specifically is I think one of the things they could have done, I really enjoy the impending doom, kind of like Escape from New York, where they do the title cards that are like day one and stuff like that. But I thought they could have injected more like scary scenes, or like maybe as she gets to the 7 days, more shit starts happening to you. You see more visions, things like that, just to add in that impending doom.
I don't think you necessarily have to hold both of those ideas separately. I think they could have still kept the, investigatory elements to it while maybe, throwing in some more weird stuff like, her pulling an electrode out of her mouth. I mean, that was a dream sequence, but that was kind of gross and weird. And like, but yeah, if they added more of that weirder, those weirder like elements to it, I think it would have added to, like you were saying, added to the more horror element of it. I think it would have helped with the pacing for sure.
I think it's a terrifying movie, like just the concept. I think there's lots of elements of terror, but I think adding some more of that, because I like the camera thing where they take like pictures and like the security camera at the store. Yeah. I think more of that would be cool. I like the drawings that they find and all that kind of stuff, because the investigation part of the movie is quite long. Like, it drags on a little bit. It wasn't enough for me to get bored or anything, but I think if we were to make this movie better, we could add more horror elements, a little less heavy on the kind of mystery.
I definitely agree. I need more stuff like her pulling the fly out of the video and stuff like that. Less looking at books in the library, less traveling on boats, although keep the horse,
Yeah, definitely.
But
Got it.
I need more Brian Cox, killing himself.
He's dead.
What is up too with people in horror movies just going to other people's houses?
What was great about that too is Brian Cox's character. I can't remember the character's name.
Richard.
Richard, yeah. He finds her and is just like, I'm busy trying to kill myself. I'm not even going to worry about calling the police or getting mad at you. I'm just going to grumble while I take the TV away from you.
Never gonna whisper my ear ever again.
That was a brutal scene. That was actually like for a PG-13 movie. They really, I think, pushed the envelope with that scene in particular.
I have to stop her. If I don't, my son will die.
Oh, yes. He will. She never sleeps.
Wait. No.
Like, for me, I agree with you all. Like, I think just adding a little bit more of those scenes, like Danny said, the one when she's pulling the shit out of her mouth, just stuff like that. Maybe fingernails coming off. Just shit.
No, we don't need no fingernails. No.
I said that one especially for you.
I already watched The Fly.
I agree, because there are some scenes in this. It's like, man, we can tighten up things a little bit here and add in maybe a little bit more spice here or there. But I will say, Naomi Watts, I do think she does a great job, because we do spend a great deal of the movie with her character. So I think she does a good job selling everything, and you're rooting for her, because I think getting into the family dynamic a little bit, she's a single mom, right? And she's maybe not the best parent, but she's trying a little bit. And, she's dealing with trying to work and all that stuff. It gives you like an empathetic character to really like root for and want something. And of course, like they open the movie with it's her niece, right? That is killed. You're rooting for her to figure out what's going on. Are you not, Nathan? Like you want her to.
Oh, 100%. And they make it very clear at the funeral scene. Like she's already on this mystery. She's good at her job and she's good at doing this investigation.
Yeah.
She gets herself ingratiated with teenagers.
So what do you think they were doing up there? Oh, thanks. I remember I was that age. Me and my girlfriend used to sneak up to my room, get high.
Which is not an easy task at all. To get them to talk to you in any way is nearly impossible.
You've got
did
bogeys.
you see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you see who was there? Jill, you saw him. Did you see him?
What? See who?
Adam Brody is in there.
Where?
Oh, is Adam Brody in there?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Wait. What?
He's one of the teenagers, just at the funeral.
He's the dude sitting on the outside, right? And like Dan said, she's like looking for bugs, and then he's like, the tape killed her.
It's not the tape.
What tape?
The one that kills you when you watch it.
And
That's Adam Brody.
And they're like, what happened to her boyfriend? And he's like, the boyfriend's dead too.
Oh
They've
my
got
God.
him.
Baby child. Yeah, I did not recognize him.
Let me tell you something. Did this little kid, what's his name, Aiden, did he remind you of a boy version of the girl Charlie from Hereditary at all? I was like, this is a creepy little kid that's drawing. And
I really did like the scenes where he's drawing the giant ring, just violently, just
about to break through that paper.
I thought Charlie did a better job acting.
Yeah.
Aiden works really well when he's not talking. Every time he speaks, it's like, please just do a better job.
I feel so bad for him when he's like making his little peanut butter and jelly sandwich and he's like going off to school by himself. I'm like, this poor baby, like, I don't know. I was kind of pissed at Rachel for being a like very absent mother. I know she's going through a lot of shit, but like, come on, man. The kid's making his own peanut butter jelly sandwich, going to school.
She wasn't going through a lot of shit before she watched that video, though. She
True.
was just kind of a workaholic.
it's weird because like a lot of early 90s movies have that where,
Because
like
it was us.
Yeah, the single working mom, but like she like the kid's on his own sort of deal.
Yeah. You get the feeling that like if she just left him, he'd be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Like he'd find a way to make some money, and pay the rent. I don't know how, but he'd do it.
Poor thing.
One of the scenes, he's walking to school and it's raining, and he bumps into what we come to find out is his dad, right?
Right.
On the street. Do you think he knew in that scene, like, that's his dad? Or because they have this weird kind of back and yeah, stare down for sure. Yeah. Do you think he knew it was his dad? Like, did he know anything? Because as the audience, right, we're introduced to the character of Noah as kind of this friend, right? You can pick up on some sexual tension there. When I was watching it, I was like, oh man, this is like just some friend where maybe like he wants to be more than friends, but he's friend zone sort of deal. But then we come to find out that he is Aiden's father.
Rachel and I were
Young. Mom's told me that story.
And so like that dynamic was really different from most movies I've seen.
I agree with what you just said. I think it makes it more complicated in that way. And also through up until that part, I had also thought that it was just like Rachel's friend. And I didn't really think about Aiden's father or anything like that. It did complicate it. It did like create some tension and kind of like weirdness as well. And I think it's more realistic too, because, you know, that kind of stuff happens a lot more than you would think, I guess.
I don't know. I got the like during that scene you're talking about where Aiden runs into Noah, I kind of felt like the kid was thinking, another dude going up the stairs to fuck my mom was sort of how, you know, I felt
Jezebel.
like they were, I thought they were going to go with that trope. I don't know. I honestly, the family dynamic thing, I just didn't care as much as I think the movie wanted me to.
It's not a great family. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, it's very disjointed.
Yeah. Although what's wonderful about it is at the end, you think you're getting this happy ending where they're going to be the mother and father of Aiden. And next thing you know,
he's dead.
So
Dan, right? This sets up some of that, what makes the ending good, right? And the payoff is you are trying to tell this story maybe of a dysfunctional family coming together in a time of crisis, and maybe everything's going to work out. So as the audience, we're hopeful, right? Yeah. I mean, is that the play?
I think so, but I think to Nathan and Jill's point, it's not as a big as a focus as it is in the movie, I think, or just to make you like care as much maybe, but obviously you want everybody to make it out alive. Me, on the other hand, I'm kind of like, I'm always into like the twist, like, all right, where's the knife gonna come and like twist? It ends so abruptly too. Like even after that, she figures out like, why did I survive versus Noah, and she figures out it's the copy.
Why not me? What did I do that he didn't?
And then they're just kind of like, well, what happens when we show it to somebody else? And then it's just like
fade to black. Time for the movie to end.
They wanted to psych everybody out with that, I think, was the point.
Her whole speech, some kids just want to be heard.
She just wanted to be heard. Sometimes children yell or cry or draw pictures.
I guess her parents just couldn't deal with that and all. And then Aiden's like, you weren't supposed to help her.
You weren't supposed to help her. Don't you understand, Rachel? She never sleeps.
She doesn't sleep.
This gets me into a bigger point here, right? If she had been maybe just better communication with your kid, why couldn't this have been communicated earlier in the movie?
Yeah.
There is no communication with her kid. And also, she's like a better mother to Samara than she is to Aiden. That's what's wrong.
She wanted a daughter.
Yeah.
Fuck this creepy kid I got.
Yeah.
I'd rather have the creepy girl.
The creepier kid. Let's help them. The evil child.
Maybe she's a goth inside.
Oh, my God.
She wanted to catch that cold.
There is this theme throughout this of motherhood, is there not? But I just don't get what they're trying to say with it, because, in the end, this story forces Rachel to be more in Aiden's life and be more of a mother figure to him. Is that what it really comes down to? because like you said, Jill, she at times she was caring more about Samara and and everything like that. And they even have that symbolic pose when she brings her out of the well and she's holding her like a baby, right? So I don't know. What do you guys think is a theme here of motherhood? Jill, do you think there is?
Haven't thought about this. I mean, it's there. It's there. You can't deny that. But I don't know if there's like a cohesive message that I can gather from it. I don't know if you guys can, because it is very complicated. And maybe that's what it's trying to say. Motherhood is complicated. I don't know. But I don't know.
My theory would be that it's, in a way, it's her extinguishing her fear of being a mother. And like, because like, again, like I just going back to like, this is like a family of avoidant people, emotionally avoidant people. And like this crisis kind of forces her to have to come to terms with like her baby is at risk essentially by being exposed to this thing. And so she's having to take it head on for both of them. And I think in that instance, she unlocks her maternal instincts with it.
Nice.
I like that.
A lot better than anything I had in my head. I was like, yeah.
Go off,
It's
queen.
there.
Psychology degree is paying off.
Right.
No, I like what you're saying about this being a very avoidant family, because it very much is, and it plays into all the dynamics of how everything does play out. Kind of like I was saying earlier, like with Aiden making his, like he's taking care of himself. I don't know. I can really relate to that as well. And just being like a very avoidant person myself and having to like try to conquer that. I'm glad you like picked up on that and just told us about it, because I think that's very interesting.
Dan, you had touched on the ending a little bit here. I guess the false finish ending, right, is they discover Samara was killed by her mother, dropped down the well. So their idea is like they found the body, she can be released, and we all go home happy. This is part one of my question. Her being released, this is not a good thing. This is going to make things worse, or does it not have any effect?
I feel like that's the one thing about this movie that they really don't explain very well. It's kind of just there as like a oh shit moment, but they never really follow up on it anymore afterwards. I mean, I just think what happens to Noah at the end was logically what was going to happen if he didn't make a copy and show somebody else that tape. Like nothing else really changes afterwards.
It seems to me that the whole investigation basically accomplished nothing, and that she saved herself at the beginning of the movie. And I think that's really what it comes down to. She just didn't know that she had saved herself at the beginning when she made a copy and showed it to Noah.
And she brought all this on herself in theory.
Yeah.
She went out and searched out the tape. Maybe she would have saved all this if she just kind of let it lie. I don't know. Like,
what is she writing for the newspaper at this point, by the way? She kind of can't just tell this story at all anymore, because she's about to like unleash hell upon somebody. So
Looney
she's about
bins.
to intentionally kill somebody.
You're gonna be okay.
What about the person we show it to? What happens to them?
Basically.
Definitely don't watch this videotape.
Right.
big bold letters, and then that will make somebody want to watch it, obviously. Like, part two of my question obviously is with the copy of the tape. So the way you save yourself from not being killed after seeing this is you make a copy of the tape and then you show it to somebody else. So this is almost like a virus idea spreading, is it not?
Yeah.
Nathan, what's your thoughts? Or Jill, sorry.
No. Go to Nathan.
I mean, yeah. I don't have much to say other than, yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
Okay, I'll go then. I'm sorry. I think the ending was cool because it kind of has that same trope as another movie we discussed, It Follows, also Smile, both newer movies, but like that kind of like cursed cycle where you kind of have to put other people in danger in order to save yourself. And it's very selfish. And again, I was like, Rachel, you bitch, like you're here, you're going to kill people on purpose now just to save yourself. I can't say I wouldn't do the same thing if I were actually in that position, because I probably would, but I have the luxury of looking from afar and being like, that's naughty.
In judgment. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Dan, what did you think of the ending? Did you like it?
I guess it was all right. Now that Nathan mentioned the fact that she saved herself like 15 minutes, 20 minutes into the movie, it's like, oh, we went on this like hour and 40-minute journey
for the audience to learn what was happening, I guess. I guess that's like kind of the slow burn of it.
I don't know if I particularly like that the copy is the way out, but I mean, how else are you really supposed to like close the loop on this thing, I guess?
I mean, other than just killing both Rachel and Aiden at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
you could
I guess
go that route.
If I could think of a better way to end it, I would, but I don't. I don't have a better way to.
Nathan, did you like the nihilistic kind of ending here that technically this is going to go on, right?
I mean, it was fine. It reminded me of, like Gill said, It Follows, and I haven't seen the first Smile, but Smile 2 is similar, you know.
Same thing.
Although actually, I hated the ending of Smile 2 now that I think about it.
No.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Get out of here.
I'll
die on that hill.
And actually, like you said something that's pretty cool, talking about the influences of this. And I think this is a very influential horror movie for its time. And
in
really
a way, it's like the first elevated horror movie. You know, it's like, it's definitely a predecessor to the It Follows and A24 stuff.
I was thinking that too. It really like maybe gave the blueprint for those movies, even down to like you were talking about too, man, where 15 minutes in, she pretty much saves herself, but we're kind of watching the rest play out. A lot of modern horror movies are like that, where it's like we're just watching the events happen.
I find that modern horror movies, a lot of the time, it was like, well, actually, this character is just doomed from the start. There was no chance at any point of them winning this situation. So now they're dead. Have fun with the rest of your life now that the movie's over.
It wants you to sit in that too.
Yeah. I mean, there are movies like that I really like. But I just find that that's the case way too often. The only way for me to give examples is to spoil some movies, so I won't do that.
Hereditary, I think, is a good like movie example in general.
Yeah, that one is
going into detail.
That one's genius, though. That one's a masterpiece, in my opinion. Oh,
absolutely.
So.
One of my first notes is that Gore Verbinski directed the first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he made this, like, I guess this is a big horror piece, and then he made Pirates, which are also bangers. So
he did Pirates the next year, right?
Dang, was it really that close?
Yeah. Yeah, because that came out in like my junior year of high school for sure.
Dang.
His filmography is just so vast.
Yeah. Bangers, though. Yeah. He's putting out bangers.
He's made studios a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't he also the director of the movie that just came out, that Good Luck, Don't Die movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
I still need to see that.
Me too.
The other thing that I noted when I looked up Davy Chase, who plays Samara, she plays Samantha in Donnie Darko, like the little sister.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that was interesting because going back to that blue filter, I call it blue, you guys called it like Matrix green. I mean, it did influence a lot of movies, and maybe there were a couple before this one as well, but I think Donnie Darko is mostly a blue tinted movie.
Yeah.
Other ones I had noted were Underworld and Gothica.
Yes.
So I thought that was interesting.
Little known fact, the early 2000s was just blue and green. That's the way we all lived our lives, according to all the movies that came out during that time.
I think it looks good. I'm attracted to that. Do you guys like that color?
Yeah, I think it was overdone in the 2000s, but I liked it back then. I mean, these days everything's orange.
I love how Jill's like favorite movies of the early 2000s. I love it. Like it's such a cool. No, it's cool. Like it's a cool stylized era of movies that I think are now starting to get their appropriate love. Whereas I think, like Nathan said, for a while, it felt like there was a lot of oversaturation with the same color schemes and the same stories and blah, blah, blah. But like now I think people look back on them and are like, this was actually a pretty cool era of like movies. And you really have to think about the early 2000s horror movies came right after Columbine. So they had very tight, what's the word I'm like restriction. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So to have movies like The Ring come out and be iconic and make a ton of money, I think that's awesome.
I was just thinking about like also the early 2000s. Like there's just a lot of like unique stories that come from the early 2000s. Like, I mean, like one of my favorite movies is 28 Days Later that came out in, God, I think 2002. Then you had the first Saw movie came out in 2004. You have this movie, you know, The Grudge. They really like were experimenting with ideas more in the earlier 2000s, and then it kind of when did Paranormal Activity come out? That was like 2006,
I think.
6ish.
8,
like even
6
that
or
was
8
somewhere
after
around
they
there.
played it out like crazy. But even the first outing of that was like an interesting concept. So like just the early 2000s in general, like they really were experimenting with ideas, and I think like it is like one of the more interesting times in horror.
It's very distinctive. Like you can look at a 2000s, early 2000s horror movie and just know where it's from. Like they're like time capsules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Davy Chase voiced Lilo in like the original cartoon Lilo and Stitch. So
wow.
I thought that was crazy that she like did all this stuff.
Well, they're similar characters, right?
You don't want to hurt anyone.
But I do, and I'm sorry.
You're crazy.
She's an iconic horror figure and an iconic Disney figure.
Yeah. And in Donnie Darko, like, what else do you want?
She cleaned up in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Want to take more time to appreciate Naomi Watts, you know?
We'll be talking about her soon.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, next episode is Mulholland Drive, which is the movie that she did right before this one, actually. So
the guy behind the Winkies is just terrifying.
Yeah, he is.
Well, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's time for Quote or Kill.
I am kind of a pervert.
What is the soundboard? And how are you doing it? I want a soundboard.
For me, I didn't have any quotes, but my favorite kill of this movie is Brian Cox in the bathtub scene. I thought that was really brutal for a PG-13 movie, and just kind of how they filmed certain things like his feet and the water overflowing, and they leave a lot up to your imagination, which is cool. I like that. Like some movies you don't have to show big gore effects. Like you can leave some to the imagination. I think this scene played to it perfectly. Dan, how about you? Quote or kill?
I was going to actually go with a quote. Rachel is talking to Aiden's teacher about his drawings of his cousin dying, and the teacher asks Rachel...
You say she died 3 nights ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Aiden drew these last week.
Like, I thought that was such a creepy, like, moment. Like, you don't know Aiden was his cousin. We're talking about these things. They kind of, like you said, set it up to where it's like, is he like kind of like have this clairvoyant thing going on?
Yeah.
And then like you kind of get introduced to him a little bit more, and he just seems kind of off and like withdrawn, and you're like, it sets the tone of like who he is in a way, or like he's very unsettling. I like a lot of those. Or like another good one was like when she's talking to the friend in the institution, and she's like grabs her hand and holds out and makes the 4 symbol, and she's like, you'll meet her soon. Just like all those like predictive premonition scenes, quote lines in this movie, I think are really, really awesome.
My favorite kill is Katie, for all the reasons that we talked about when we talked about the opening scene. I think it just, it really sets the tone of the whole movie. And then my favorite line is when Aiden says she never sleeps, because it's just scary shit, you know? It sets up the twist.
Especially those scenes where they have that video camera of her in that mental asylum room and she's just walking around and the clock's moving. Like, fuck. She's one bad lady.
I think it's funny that that's like his reason for not saving her because she doesn't sleep.
Right.
She's pure evil because she doesn't sleep.
She's a whack job. Jill, how about you? Quarter kill.
Honorable mention with the quote. I think the 7 days phrase is iconic and lasted throughout time. My favorite kill is also the dad in the bathtub. He's the old guy from Trick or Treat.
Yes. Yeah.
I was watching this with Anthony and he told me that when we were watching it, I'm like, how do you recognize him as the guy, like the old guy from Trick or Treat? Because he looks so different. But I think his kill is not only graphic and just like interesting and how it happens, but the tension in that scene is great, especially because she like sneaks into this house, which is insane. And she's like in the dark, like hunched over this TV, like watching this person's like videotapes and shit. And then when he catches her, he looks menacing. He looks like he's gonna kill her. And that's what I thought was going to happen because I forgot. I thought it was scary. And then for him to like kind of flip it and be like, actually, I'm going to kill myself. Like, get out of my way.
It's time for our Letterboxd rating. We're going to rate this movie from 1 to 5 stars. 5 is making a copy and surviving. And 1 is watching the tape.
I'm watching the damn tape.
I know you are. God dang,
You're
man.
making like 10 copies too, and you're just mailing them to people.
Passing them out. Oh, God. Nathan's like the Unabomber with those
Nathan's
things.
cursed video store.
I just sell one tape. Just hundreds of copies of the one.
All black
that
spines.
Tape, you know?
The hell? I'm going to start first. I'm going to give The Ring 3.5 stars. I really enjoy this movie a lot. It is a slow burn. It does take a little bit, I think, to kind of get invested. But I think once you're invested, this movie does take you on a ride. And there is a cool payoff, I think, with the twist that Samara is evil. This is a very iconic movie. I think if you haven't seen this, definitely recommend going out and seeing this. This is one, as a horror fan, I think you have to check off at some point. It's a must watch. The reason I'm not going more on this is I think it could have used a little bit more horror scenes. I wouldn't mind seeing this get remade by like A24 or something like that, where they could really get more into a story and bring out some of those, like you said, graphic scenes and just get into the weird stuff. I think that would be cool. Right. And the pacing, it's a little slow. It does drag at times, but overall, I mean, this is a pretty cool movie and one that I think is pretty timeless.
I'm just gonna bump it up a little bit. I'm gonna give it 4 stars just because of like the staying power and its place in my memory for me as just being this terrifying movie. And still watching it, I was just the tension built in this movie. I was scared to get to like the faces of the people who died because I knew it was terrifying and it's still terrifying. And I'm probably going to have trouble sleeping tonight just like thinking about some of the stuff. Honestly, I think the Japanese version, the original, is much better, but I think this is a great American adaptation of it. I think it holds up. I think there's plenty of horror in here as like a ghost story, which is that's how I'm gonna view it, through the lens of a ghost story. I think good ghost stories also are slow burns. I just rewatched The Innkeepers not too long ago, and now just thinking about like a ghost story, it's very similar. Also a big slow burn movie. So yeah, I think it's great. Naomi Watts is amazing. I think the child actors are creepy. The opening was great. Yeah, so 4 stars for me.
I'm also going to give it 3.5 stars. I like this movie quite a bit. I basically agree with everything Kevin said, that the pacing's a little off. It's a little too long. Overall, the story is compelling. The acting is great, especially on Naomi Watts' part. I enjoy it. I would recommend it as well. 3.5 stars.
I'm right with you guys on the 3.5 stars. I think it's a modern classic. It offers something uniquely different, and it's an effective PG-13 horror movie, in my opinion. It does a lot with the atmosphere, the tone, the unnerving visuals to really make you feel uncomfortable just sitting with it. I love the cursed videotape concept. The Samara character is memorable. Her coming out of the TV, that's going to live on, I think, for a while. I think it does a great job covering the source material from the Japanese film. As you guys mentioned, Naomi Watts, fantastic. I'm with you guys on like your critiques of the movie with like the pacing and it maybe being a little long. And yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. I think movies have gotten better with the atmosphere and settings and scenes, like A24 style production of this movie. I'd be curious to see them explore this content and maybe take it further, like into like the Hereditary realm of like visual stunning effects and things like that movie executes. It'd be really interesting to see what they could do with it. But overall, like, I would recommend this movie. It's a great ghost story movie for sure.
This might even be like a good introduction to horror a little bit. And
you want to traumatize a poor child.
Yeah,
like we all were.
Horror 101.
To your point, Jill, of your first watch, this is like a sleepover horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the perfect one. And then you scare your friends, you call them, you go in the bathroom, call them on their cell phone, and
that's
tell them
delicious.
7 days.
What's up?
What's up? Oh my God.
Poor Nathan.
Nathan's
Aw,
gone.
He left.
You're so offended.
Yep.
I was terribly offended when you said what's up.
Well, before we end the episode, we want to let you know what we've been up to. This past week on the Mouths of Madness podcast, we covered Happy Death Day, and it was pretty cool. I hadn't seen it in a while. It's kind of ironic because it's another PG-13 horror movie like I talked about earlier, and I really enjoyed it as a more modern horror movie with that kind of PG-13 parameters. I thought that it was really effective. Kind of tells a cool horror story in the Groundhog Day idea. I think the lead actress is great in it. We're with her throughout. Jessica Roth there. She was really good. The killer, the baby face mask, I love it. I'm a big fan of iconic looks, and that one did it for me. So I definitely recommend, if you haven't seen it, definitely take a look at it. I gave it 4.5 stars. Kind of like this movie, The Ring. For me, if it was like gore and some more big time kills, it would have been a top of the line horror movie for me. As it stands, I gave it 4.5.
I gave it 4. It's a lot of fun, for sure.
Yeah.
Dan, how about you? You also watched Happy Death Day.
Yes, I also watched Happy Death Day. I agree. Everything you said regarding that movie. It is a fun movie. I was saying this on our show. Check it out when it comes out. It's a little bit refreshing from all of the other movies that kind of came out around this time with the atmosphere and dread, like horrible outcome. The person's fucked from the start of the movie, like we kind of were talking about earlier.
Right.
This is a little bit more refreshing, a little bit more uplifting. However, it still kind of toes that line a little bit of the despair and in dealing with despair and grief and loss, but like it does it in a more positive spin, I think, and it's a fun movie to watch. Besides that, I've been audiobooking. I just recently finished follow-up to Batman books. I wasn't really a big fan of this one. The first one took place after 1989 Batman. That one was called Batman Resurrection. This one was Batman Revolution. It had the Riddler as one of the main Rogues Gallery villains, but once it got away from the source material of the films, I just kind of lost interest in it. So, I mean, I think if you're like a really hardcore Batman fan, definitely check it out. Kind of go in with like a little, like not too much hype, because that's what got me, was the hype.
I love me some Batman 89.
I'm going to talk about one movie, 2 books. The other night, I had some friends over. I put on Queens of the Dead, which came out in 2025. It's directed by Tina Romero, who is George Romero's daughter.
Oh,
and I think this is her like debut. And essentially, it's a zombie movie that takes place in Brooklyn in a drag club. And it's fantastic. It's everything that you can expect from that. So it's It's campy.
Zombies in drag.
It's zombies in drag. Yeah, the zombies look amazing. Like they kind of look like the Dawn of the Dead zombies. They have that blue-green kind of tinge. Very iconic because I just rewatched Dawn of the Dead as well. And then they're in like stiletto heels, like they're like the makeup, the hair, the outfits. I don't know. I love it. I think it's fantastic. You get some cool kills and just, I don't know if you're into that kind of thing. This is the movie for you. Pride Month is coming up, and I think it's a good Pride horror movie. Also, if you're a fan of Romero and you want to see his daughter's work, I think it's very cool that she did that. And there's also a lot of references to her father's work, like quotes and like little Easter eggs and things like that. It's on Shudder, I believe. If you're looking to watch
check
it.
that out, actually. That sounds amazing.
It's great.
What if John Waters did zombies, you know?
Yeah.
I never lived dead.
There's Kesha. It's wonderful. And for books, I've been on like a splatter punk kind of kick, just trying to read like extreme horror. One of the books, I don't have a copy of it because I read it on my Kindle. It's called The Eyes Are the Best Part. I think it's by Monica Kim. And it's about this Korean American girl. Her parents are going through a divorce. Some things happen. She's a psychopath, and it's like American Psycho, but Korean chick.
And the splatterpunk starts, and
yeah,
and the eyes are the best part.
And the eyes are the best part. I can't really say much else without spoiling it, but yeah, it was really good. It's on, I think, Prime Reading. So if you have a Amazon Prime subscription, you can read that for free. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I read that like pretty quickly. I started it one day and I was in bed and I read 40% to the end. Like I was up until like 2 a.m. reading it. It's a good little read. And then this is my highly coveted read, Full Brutal by Christopher Triana. This is like the big splatterpunk book, Feminine Rage, that everyone kind of recommends. So it's been on my list for a while. So I was very excited to read it. Once again, I was up until like 2:30 a.m. finishing it off last night. It's like American Psycho, but a teenage cheerleader. And there's cannibalism, there's necrophilia. Uh-huh. It's so fucked up. It's great. So if you're into that, this is a 5-star book for me. So I love that.
Wow.
What have you been up to, Nathan?
A couple of episodes ago, I told you that I was doing a rewatch of Twin Peaks because I got the A to Z Twin Peaks collection that has all 3 seasons and as well as the movie. And last night I actually finished my rewatch of Twin Peaks, and I loved it so much every time. Last time I talked about it, I was talking about how it was crazy how much surrealism they got away with on network television for seasons 1 and 2. Well, season 3, they don't have to get away with anything because they're on Showtime.
Yeah.
And he can do whatever he wants. So things get extremely surreal and violent. It's what you expect from David Lynch, really. He likes extreme violence. He likes beautiful naked women. And he likes being real weird and maybe breaking your heart.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect combination.
Yeah. What an ending. My God. The existential dread. I haven't been watching many movies because of that. But I did watch on the Criterion channel a movie called Maniac Cop.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And that one gives you what it says on the tin. Campy slasher slop sort of movie starring Tom Atkins and Bruce Campbell. And,
oh my God.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know, right?
Damn, 2 studs.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell is kind of wasted in this movie, though.
He's not in it, right? For a lot?
He's in it for most of it. He's not introduced until maybe a half an hour into it. I was kind of hoping for an over-the-top performance when I saw Bruce Campbell's name, and I got a sort of normal performance. He was good. He can do normal characters, apparently. But that's not what I'm looking for when I read Bruce Campbell's name. So it was all right. I think I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd. I also rewatched Female Trouble and The Wizard of Oz. Niece and nephew came over the other night, so we watched The Wizard of Oz.
That's
that movie's
awesome.
great.
Yeah.
That movie's really good.
Educating those kids.
Oh, yeah.
And scary.
Oh, yeah. It is a bit scary. That witch she's scary.
And the monkeys.
Yeah, the monkeys are scary too. Although I think the monkeys are scary because it's a bad special effect a little bit. Also, I started playing Minecraft again. It's a problem. So if you don't hear from me for a few weeks, I'm lost in the nether.
Dang.
Yeah.
You should play with me. It's been a while.
You play Minecraft?
I used to. I haven't in a couple of years.
We should start a realm.
We should make a Mouths of Madness realm. And we all just
Anybody
like.
else in?
I don't play video games.
You don't play video games?
But you
I
can.
haven't played Minecraft in a minute.
It's been 10 years for me anyway. You get back into it and every 5 minutes you're going, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Because they keep adding shit to the game. So after 10 years, they've added so much into the game that it's like a different game.
My niece was like really, really into it, and she makes like these just extraordinary like castles and things that are just like so detailed. Like you can make it like it's like artistic in a way, like the way like you even see it on like online. Some people make like these just incredible like things out of Minecraft. It's wild what like the detail people will put into it.
See, I'm not that good at the game.
No, no,
but I
neither am
love
I.
trying.
No.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I'll dig into the ground and then I'll end up in a lava pit.
That happens sometimes.
Sometimes.
It's like life.
Exactly.
It's a metaphor.
Like life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it, Nathan?
That's it. Yeah. Twin Peaks,
Awesome.
Maniac Cop, and Minecraft.
What a mixture.
It's kind of the
Right?
potpourri of stuff.
Yeah.
I have a heart on for 300, Alex.
I am kind of a pervert.
So is that a house shirt?
Yes.
Is that new?
Oh.
I've had it for a while.
Show the class.
I didn't realize you were wearing a house shirt.
That's
awesome.
sick.
That is a cool shirt.
Your J-horror shirt.
Who is it by?
Black Rabbit Designs or
Oh,
something?
Black Rabbit. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen them. Yeah. How's that shirt comfort-wise?
It's actually a little tight.
Like size up?
Well, that's the thing. If I go a size up, it's going to be too long. It's
It's
kind of
like
narrow,
slim
to be
fit.
honest with you. Yeah.
I hate those. And they like choke. They like choke me.
The collar's not too bad on this one.
You don't have boobs.
Well, no, I kind of do.
No.
And it kind of hugs them a little bit.
Hey, but we'll take a sponsorship. Black Rabbit, we'll wear all your stuff. This fits just fine. That does it for our episode on The Ring. We want to thank Dan so much for joining us. It was so much fun having you on talking about The Ring.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me. It was a blast just covering this great movie.
Yeah, we'll have to have you on for another early 2000s movie at some point.
Yeah. Let me
Dive
know when
into
you're
that
covering
era.
The Grudge.
Oh,
It's on my list, so
yeah,
soon.
There you
for
go.
sure. We got to hit more of these movies because I think
American remakes of J-horror specifically.
specifically.
Okay.
We can do J-horror June and J-horror July.
Well, if you're interested in any of the Letterboxd reviews that we have done, you can go down to the comments. We'll have links down there so you can see what movies we're watching and rating. Also, a link to Gill's Goodreads as well to see what she's been reading lately. But we'll be back soon with another episode, and we're going to be covering Nathan's pick, Mulholland Drive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little jealous.
Starring Naomi Watts.
Come back.
Double dose.
See you in 2 weeks.
But until then, back to the padded room with you. And you better watch this episode because you have 7 days to live.
Scared.
You should be.